To be a track star, apparently you have to have your own signature celebration. You know, Usain Bolt has Lightning Bolt, Mo Farah has the Mobot, Noah Lyles has whatever this thing is now. Who knows? Hey everybody, welcome back to the Running Through YouTube page, and today we're going to be running through the Shanghai Diamond League preview. I'm going to take this meet kind of race by race. We're just going to give a little run through. I took some notes this morning while I was watching. Woke up at 5:30 Kansas City time, so you know I have your guys' best interest in mind. But let's just dive into it. The season's still early, so sometimes that means that these meets are a little bit lackluster, but Shanghai did not disappoint outside of a few select races. So, let's head down to the track. The men's 400-meter hurdles, the first big race of the day. You have Abdurrahman Samba versus Rai Benjamin. And those are like the two big names of notes here. Two big names of note here. That was the big showdown. Rai Benjamin pushed Samba to the end, but Samba just had that extra gear. So, talking 400-meter hurdles, it's probably the toughest race. I don't know. There's a debate between the 400-meter hurdles, the 800, and the steeple, which is the worst race ever. 400-meter hurdles has to be up there. But anyway, Rai Benjamin pushed Samba to the limit, but Samba just had an extra gear over the last 50 meters that Benjamin didn't have. Honestly, I think Samba was toying with him a little bit, just with how easily he pulled away. But it's a pretty good race, and Samba wins it in 47.27 to Benjamin's 47.80. And that's a world lead and a meet record for Samba. And I haven't even finished my first cup of coffee yet. Which leads us into what might be like the only disappointing race of the day, just because of the amount of hype that I myself put on it, the men's 5,000 meters. It was a stacked race. So if you think of all of the big names that are taking the line, I think that there's a lot of hype put up for it. But you have to remember, it's the second Diamond League race. We're a long way away from Worlds, which is presumably where everyone's trying to peak. But you have Chalemo, you have Brega, you have Gajelcha, you have Gemerwet. A lot of big names. Big names that have won races recently that have really showed up. However, you know, after a hot pace early, Paul Chalemo took the lead and really looked like he was gunning for it. Then they strung out and they kind of bunched back up. Then Brega went to the front. Looked like he was taking the lead, but really when you look back at the times, when he was in front, I don't know if everyone was just assuming that he would take it. Those are the slowest laps of the race. After a 2:42 last K, the field kind of performed a mutiny, and everyone just slowly went around him and decided that it wasn't his time to take the lead anymore. Then Kamele took the lead, but everyone was still there with about 600 left to go, and it stayed like that until the last 400. Gajelcha ran a 53-second last lap. 53 seconds in this 5K, which was raced more like a championship race than anything. This is what we will probably get at World, so think of it as a preview, but Gajelcha is just on another level compared to everybody else as far as his track speed right now. So over the last 400, really the last 200 is when he pulled away. He was just too much for Brega over that last 200 meters. 13:04.16 in a world lead, but Gajelcha's a 12:40 5K guy, so pretty far off his PR. But like I said, I think we just expected more out of this field than what was ultimately going to happen. And Gajelcha never kind of took the lead, so I think the only way that this race is fast is if Gajelcha goes to the front and everyone just kind of hangs on or tries to take him down. Unfortunately, that's not what we got. Gajelcha racing smart, you know, the old Mo Farah tactic where you just hang back and let everyone else put you in position to take the win. And that's what we have here today. Next up, we have the women's 400 meters, which was also Cindy McLaughlin's Diamond League debut, her outdoors debut as well. Running the 400, not the 400 hurdles. But as we see, Nazir goes to the lead. So Nazir was a world championship last year. Cindy McLaughlin, you might not expect her to be, you know, up front right now, but you want to see her challenging. I think it would be a disappointment if she was just back in the pack with how much hype she has behind her and just how much of an athlete she is. She really is the future of this event, or the 400 hurdles anyway. But Nazir goes to the lead, and she kind of stayed there. But she took the lead out. She was really out front. And McLaughlin was making up ground in second. But over the last 100 to 50 meters, she really closed down. And I think if this was a hurdle, I think if the hurdle competition, I think McLaughlin wins. And if it's a 410 meter race, it'd beats her at the line too. So it was a really good race for her. 50.65 for Nasser. Sid ran 50.78. So very close. An incredible result for Sydney. Nasser was anything but beatable last year. She was very much on top of the world. So for her to be able to challenge as hard as she was able to challenge, it's a really good look for her. And then we have a non-sanctioned 200-meter race that I didn't even write down the results for because I was so outraged by it. Not outraged. I didn't really care. But IAAF doesn't want the 5K in the Diamond League anymore because they feel like it throws off the flow of the meet. And then they stick a non-sanctioned 200-meter race 45 minutes in. What you gonna do, man? You can't win. But moving on to the women's 1500 meters. This race was extremely bunched up from the get-go. Kipling did a great job rabbiting. Really took the meet through. Sege looked to be off the front, but the field reeled her back in early. The last 200 meters, it was anyone's race. That's the thing, is this thing was so bunched up, anyone could have won it. And with that said, I think we're all kind of expecting Sifa and Hassan. Hassan to beat the class of the field. I definitely picked her in my IAAF Diamond League to captain my team. But it was Rababe Arafi that ended up taking home the win. And what was definitely an upset because she has been more of an 800-meter runner in the past. Somebody that definitely wasn't expected to be up in the mix. But ends up running 4:01.15 and had the best closing 200 meters out of the field. So her personal best of 3:59, so still not there, but runs a world-leading time of 4:01. However, with the class of the field, that's definitely an upset. Sege was second, 4:01.25, and then Winnie Nyando, 4:01.39, in a Ugandan record and a personal best. And nice to see Alexa Ephraimson kind of up there as well. Running 4:04, which for her is a big improvement of what she ran a couple weeks ago, and only a second off her PR. So I think we're going to see a big year from Alexa Ephraimson, who's kind of been lost in the shuffle the past couple of years since she turned pro early. Next, we have the women's 100-meter race, which was also pretty exciting, however, if not a little bit predictable. Aaliyah Hobbs ended up winning in 11.03. Blessing Akabari and Jenna Plandini round out the top three. I don't know if Leah Hobbs would be the person you expect to win, but 11:03 is very respectable for the second meet of the season. Honestly, it's a new age of American sprinters, so we have a lot of new names in there that aren't necessarily athletes we're accustomed to, but athletes that have been at the top at the NCAA level for years now. Aaliyah Hobbs ran at LSU. She was part of that 4x4 record team, or 4x1 record team last year that ran 44, I think, or something in that range. So she's a really talented athlete. And yeah, we're just going to see that a lot. We're going to see a lot of new American sprinters, especially in the 1 and the 2 and the 4, that kind of come out of nowhere, but they've been around. It's just kind of their time to ascend. But they're just as dominant as generations past. Now onto the men's 400 was next. Fred Curley takes it home. It was a pretty insignificant race because some competitors dropped out. Curley won it by a second. Gardner DNS'd. It was an American sweep, though, so Americans go 1, 2, 3, but not much to really analyze in this race. Fred Curley wins as you would expect. Moving on to the men's 100-meter hurdles. Omar McLeod left all on the track. I was really impressed with this race in the 110 hurdles. McLeod has been grieving the loss of his aunt a couple days ago, and the fact that he's even on the line is, I don't know, it's something that I would probably not have done just because I would have been so emotional, but you can either go one or two ways. You can either not race because of how much everything sucks, or you can go and run in her honor, which McLeod ended up doing. A big time win, 13:12 when his season best was 13.29. Very close to his personal best of 12:9, so he's going to have a big year. Wei Jianji, 13:17, so he was riding his heels, but McLeod kind of comes from behind, really makes it up on the last two hurdles, and yeah, wins big time. I have a lot of respect for that performance, and I have a lot of time for Omar McLeod now. Then onto the women's 3,000 meter steeplechase, which was anything but if not predictable. Beatrice Shepkowicz, especially with Emma Coburn and Courtney Frerichs running at the USATF Distance Classic earlier on Thursday. You know, she didn't really have any competition as far as like predictable outcomes go. Cellophane Chesspool was probably the closest to that, but still that golf and talent, and even with Courtney Frerichs and Emma Coburn, Beatrice Shepkowicz is just on a different level right now. So she wins pretty much from the get-go. 904.53, a meet record, a world lead. Chesspool ends up running 911.10. Chen Mutai in third, 917.7. Now we get to the marquee race of the meet, the firecracker that is the 100-meter sprint. This is always going to be somewhat of a showdown. Every runner in this race has broken 10. They're all under that 10-second threshold. You have Noah Lyles, you have Christian Coleman, you have Su, the Chinese athlete. It was always going to be something. Coleman is a really quick starter, so the gun goes off. Coleman's out front by a lot. Noah Lyles, traditionally 200-meter runner. I think you see that with Usain Bolt sometimes. Although, like, the more apt comparison with Noah Lyles would be someone like Carl Lewis, who was always kind of a slow starter, but more of a 200, that long sprint kind of athlete. But Noah Lyles comes through like a freight train over the last like 30 meters, really. He comes from being in the back of the pack to charging up on Coleman. And at the line, Noah Lyles leans out Christian Coleman. Time, they both run 9.86. That's a PR for Noah Lyles at the second race of the year. 4 runners break 10 seconds. Lyles sets the world lead. It's going to be a big year for him. I mean, we have a long way to go to Worlds. He's 21 years old. Last year was kind of his breakout year. This year it's just going to get even better. So that kind of closed out the meet in what was a pretty good Shanghai opener. Now, criticisms of it are that I had to wake up at 5:30 to watch this damn thing. But outside of that, I was thoroughly entertained throughout. And I'd recommend it. I'd get up at 5:30 again just to make it worthwhile. That 100 meters is something that kind of I'll be thinking about for a while now. Just the way that Noah Lyles has ascended. Somebody who we weren't quite sure about last year until he did the double at USATFs. But yeah, he's just going to take it to another level this year, it looks like, and something to really look forward to. What were your impressions on the meet? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to kind of sound off and see what you think. Who are your MVPs of the meet? I would say for me it has to be Noah Lyles for sure. Samba, definitely the 400-meter hurdles to kind of start off the thing. And Omar McLeod, because I really like his performance and the way he ran. I guess that Aaliyah Hobbs can't be discount as well. So those 4 I think would be up for my MVP. So let me know who you think. Who would you kind of nominate? Who would you vote? Where would you go with it? But yeah, that's where I'll leave you guys. If you're just stumbling upon this video, give me a like, give me a subscribe. If you want to see more like it, I'm going to start kind of recapping all the Diamond League meets. Put out some other stuff. I'm going to try to put out kind of 2 or 3 videos a week going forward. Now that I have a little bit more of a schedule kind of planned out. And we'll go from there. So anyway, hope you guys liked that video. Remember to work hard, be nice, happy running. We'll talk.